So we're going to go ahead and get started. I'm admitting everybody here. Again, my name is Inga Nykole. I help entrepreneurs start, fund, and grow their business. Hopefully, you guys can see my screen, my screen, my screen pretty clear. If for some reason you can't see my screen, my volume goes out. Someone out there has my phone number. Definitely give me a shout or just come on off of mute and tell me. But as you're chiming in, definitely keep yourself on mute. We're going to go through this and then we'll do a little bit of Q&A at the end. It's so important to me to be able to tell you guys all about the free money that you can get for your business and your nonprofit. And a lot of people, I also want you to really consider a nonprofit, even though you have a business, because let me tell you something. There's nothing like free money than more free money. And businesses can get free money all the time. And free money is really just in the forms of grants and sometimes sponsorships too, depending on how soon your activities are. But the free money that is available to you is absolutely incredible. But if you're a nonprofit, when I say that free money is going to open the floodgates of heaven for you. And so I want to be able to share with you just 5 steps to free money for your business and nonprofit. And let me tell y'all something, I'm an overachiever, right? So if I say 5 steps, I bet you it's probably about more than five, but I just wanted to be able to give you some impact for your afternoon. And so I want to thank you, first of all, for being here with me, for taking up your afternoon. Because most of us, if we're not working, then we're really trying to run our business. And I just thought it would be a cool thing to transition from the nighttime to kind of do it in the day. If we do it in the day, it gives us the opportunity. It gives us the opportunity to get some good information in a day. And one of the things I do notice is that the bigger opportunities, especially that are with your state funding, guys, write that down right now. Your state funding and your local funding, they're doing their webinars during the day. They're giving out that free money, those RFPs, which means requests for proposal. They're doing that in the beginning of the day, like midday or about right now. And so I said, why don't we try that strategy? Because people are working and they're still attentive at the time. So 5 steps to free money for your business and your nonprofit. Let's make sure I can work my slides. I learned this last week and go. Okay, wait. Okay, boom, look at me. Yay. And so, guys, let me tell you about Get Grants Daily. I'm the girl of catchy names. I'll think of like right now we have something called Funded on Purpose. I feel like catchy names are just they're fun, they're kind of quirky, and they just allow us. And I'll let's fix my camera too. But they just allow us to be able to just make things a little bit more interesting. And so the quirky name is what you're gonna get from me. You can count on that. But Get Grants Daily came about to me. All right, now y'all, I'm going real fast. So Get Grants Daily came about to me one day because we get grants daily. It's like an affirmation. We're going to get some free money every single day. But my mission is to help entrepreneurs and nonprofits navigate the grant application process with guidance and resources. I want you to be able to get as many funding opportunities as you possibly can. And so I love to share success stories. I love to share real people because me just talking is really not what's really happening. People that are real life every day, that are hustling just like you, just like me, that are out there making their dreams come true, that are living their passion and their purpose. This is what Get Grants Daily is all about. Whether you're a business, whether you're a nonprofit, wherever you're even just thinking about it, because there's money out there, even if you're just thinking about it. And so this is Dawn. Dawn is near and dear to my heart because believe it or not, she's my sister. And if you're in business, then you know, like me, sometimes the hardest client to get is somebody that you know, right? And so Dawn is an IT professional out there in the Woodstock, Georgia area. It's like a northern part of north of Atlanta, probably about 30, 40 minutes outside of Atlanta. She's been an IT professional for over 20 years, right? Started with a dream, honestly, started with a part-time job. And we went to school, we went to college at Norfolk State University in Virginia. And she's always said that she knew she would come back to Virginia. I didn't know that because I never thought I would come back, but here I am. But Dawn said that she was going to go back to Virginia and become a chef. And so 2 years ago, guys, started working with Dawn and helping her apply for grants, establish her business, because that's what Get Grants Daily and Maximus Financial Group, our mother company, our parent company, is all about. But we started working with Dawn to do that. And Dawn is literally positioned right now. She applies for grants every single day. She's a part of our client portal and our grant vault. She's holding up a check. It's not for a grant, but it's for her very first paid job in her business because of the steps that she's learning through Get Grants Daily. She's established her corporation because of Get Grants Daily. She got her EIN number. She's working on her business credit. Guys, all of this goes towards grants, believe it or not. But that check, guys, is from last week, her very first paid job. She's still a professional. She doesn't want to leave her day job to get to her dream, but she's transitioning smoothly to her day job to get to her dreams. I'm so excited for her. Why am I excited? Guys, by the time Dawn retires, she's going to have a severance package. And I don't know, I'm not anything like Dawn. I've been an entrepreneur all my life. So I do not have one of those things called retirement, severance package, Social Security. I am out here in these streets, just like some of us, hustling my way. But Dawn has a perfect picture painted, and some of you are professionals here, and you also may. Think of it this way. When she gets her severance, I'm not going to tell her money, but it is a couple, multiple six figures after 20 years of working in IT. Dawn bought a home back when the housing market was booming and you could get a house for the low or for cheap or however you say it. But Dawn's house has probably over $600,000 of equity once she sells her home. She's going to Disney because her job is being able to work with her to allow her to the grace to do the thing that she wants to do. This is what it's all about when you're walking on purpose and walking in your purpose and on your way to great things. I share that story to say that Dawn literally will retire next year with over $1 million through grants, through hustling, through severance, through selling her home, all to get to her dreams, and all because of the work that we've been putting in now for about 2 years. But guys, listen. If you work with me for just a few months and got $1,000, you'd be all right. But imagine that you work with me for a year, maybe 2 years, but you wound up with $1 million in your bank account. And I'm not saying that to impress anybody because that check right there is her first check and it's only $500. But the vision has been painted, and that's a little bit what we're going to do today. Every single step that I share with you today, Dawn has done for herself, and her business is growing. And that, guys, is what I'm all about. That is what Get Grants Daily and Maximus Financial Group is all about. And so in the comments, I want y'all to say, go, Dawn, go. So then that way, when she sees it, she'll be so excited that I shared it in our little in our uh, presentation today. But here's what we're going to talk about today. Today, we're going to talk about unlocking funding opportunities, a little bit of understanding the grant application process, and how to tell a unique story because that's what it's all about. There's grants all around, guys. I always ask people to tell me your city and state. And so if you're just chiming in, tell me your city and state. I'm asking for a reason. If you're uncomfortable putting it out on social media, because social media is a little bit creepy, put it in my DM, guys. I'm on Instagram and TikTok and all the good stuff at Inga Nykole. That's INGANYKOLE, Inga Nykole. If you're nervous to put your personal information on the social media, slide in my DM. Because me knowing your city and state is an incredible thing. Guess what? It allows me to find funding right in your backyard. And that's what unlocking funding opportunities truly is all about. The grant process, knowing what to say, how to say it, what to say, how much to ask for, all of that is a real thing. You probably see people talking about grants every single day. Apply for this grant, click the link, get this Verizon grant, get this Hello Skip grant, do this, do that. But guess what, guys? We get to the application and we're not sure how to do it. And so this is what, again, this presentation is all about. One of the things we're going to do, and so don't go anywhere, we're going to apply for a grant today, together, right now, a grant for over $3,000. And it's literally going to take us like 60 seconds to apply. And so I want you to understand and see what a grant process truly is like. All right. In my head, I'm saying next slide, please, but I'm the one that's doing the slide. So this picture is special to me, guys. I am from Sharon Hill, Pennsylvania. I raised my children in Wilmington, Delaware. I do Airbnb as a side hustle business for myself outside of being an accountant for over 20 years, a tax professional, CPA, and all that good stuff. One of the things that it was in my heart when I was in college, which my sister helped restore and me traveling around helped me restore, is becoming a senator. And so, guys, I am literally positioned right now to run for senator in the state of Virginia in 2027. The reason that I'm hustling to share as fast as I can because I don't want the time to get away from me. I want to know that I've been inspiring entrepreneurs all along, just like I've been inspired for myself and for hundreds of people. I want to be able to do that for you. And so this picture is pretty special to me because I was literally off of a 10-day vacation coming from Ghana, probably actually more like 12 to 13 days. I didn't want to come back coming from Ghana. And in my mailbox was a letter for city council in the state of Virginia and in the Newport News area. So I have found out through the mail that I've been elected to the city council Newport News Human Services Advisory Board by a write-in. I applied and ran for this board for this city council position. I was not elected. When I called on my birthday in September, they said I wasn't elected. And I opened this mail because I'm going through to open up the city mail because I'm not too familiar in Virginia, making sure I don't miss any of my business licenses. Lo and behold, there's a letter from city council. You need to be sworn in the next 10 days. The date on the letter was that day. And so I love this picture because that's the sheer joy and happiness of purpose in my heart of me walking into city council in the state of Virginia, Newport News, to be sworn in for that position. And I'm very excited about that. And so this is, again, why I do what I do, because dreams do come true when you continue to stick and stay and work in your own purpose. And so let's apply for a grant together right now. I say that. Well, let's do it. Guys, let's stop right here. I'm going to stop sharing for a second. All right. And we are going to go on this website. And so let me see if I could put this grant. I'm going to try to put it in the comments. All right. So give me 1 second here. And guys, as you're in there, come on while we're going into this, while I get ready to share this screen for us to do the grant. I want y'all to come off the microphone and say hello to everybody and tell me your city and state while I log up, get this grant for us to apply for right now. So if you're here and you got a microphone and you're live with me, city and state, where are we from? Where are we from? What's your name? Where are you from? And nobody gonna say, y'all not gonna talk to me.
Barbara Green, Riverdale, Georgia.
Yes, there go my girl. Hey, girl, Riverdale,
Hey.
Georgia. Who else is out there?
Hello. Paulette from Washington, D.C.
Hey, Paulette. Welcome.
Hey.
Welcome to the party today. Who else? Who else is there?
Hello.
Deirdre Jackson. Deirdre Jackson, Douglasville, PA.
Hey, Miss Beautiful Deirdre Jackson. Welcome to the party today. Come on, give me one more, guys. Give me one more. Give me one more.
I'm Herbert. I'm calling from St. Louis, Missouri.
Hey, Herbert, how are you? Welcome, welcome, welcome. All right. So, guys, I'm no expert. Well, you know what? I'm going to stop saying that. I am an expert. So let's share my screen here. Let me see which way to go. I think it's here. Okay, wait. I'm going to stop again. I'll be right back. So what I want us to do I'm going to share with y'all what's happening in my head. What's happening in my head right now is we are applying for a grant, but I have to get the link up for you guys. So let's see. Oh, there it is. All right, so there it is. And now I'm going to attempt my screen share. So we are going to go to, oh, there it is. Got it. All right, I'm an expert now. Y'all ready? You see my screen, right? So we're going to go to this website. So guys, I'm going to drop this in the chat real quick. Copy. And I know my chat is here. Let's do it. Y'all I want to get fancy like the people that I see that they already have their chat already pinned together. All right. So the experts that have that going on, y'all have to teach me that. Maybe I have to stop for a second. So I am sharing. All right. So here's what we're going to do. I don't know how to do it. So we're going to go to, the website, guys, is HTTP. And y'all know no, I'm determined to do it. Wait, guys, let me try again. I know. Give me 1 second here. All right. So I'm asking for a favor. This is one of those lifetimes. Deirdre Jackson, I think you're good at Zoom. I shared the link directly to you in the chat. Do you see that link?
Yep, got it.
Can you help me by posting? Oh, there's mine too. Can you help me by posting that link in the chat for everyone to see? Because thank you. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. And so there's going to be a link in the chat right now, guys. It's called the Galaxy Grant. So if you've been on a Zoom with me before, then you've probably already done this with me. But if you're new here, then this is the grant that we're going to apply for. It's so easy. And hopefully you can also see my screen, and I'm going to give you a couple seconds to get there. It says you can now see me. And so this is called the Galaxy Grant. This is a grant for anybody that is in business, thinking about business, already in business, on their way to big business dreams, whatever it is. But every dream deserves a chance. And it's powered by a company called Hidden Star, which is a nonprofit. Nonprofits give things, money, tangible items away, services all the time. This grant is for $3,500. And together, if you have never done it before, we're going to apply for a grant. Because why would I have a grant webinar and we didn't apply for any money, right? And so super easy. The deadline is June 30th. Very, very, very simple. If you would like to look around later, this is when we're done this Zoom. Everybody that's here will get a follow up with the notes and also the link to the Zoom today. So that way you could kind of scroll on through. But it takes 30 seconds to apply, and the deadline is again June the 30th. This is for, like I said, new businesses, existing businesses, anybody can apply. Super, super simple. All you're going to do is put your name, right? And you're looking at the screen. Don't put my name or I'm getting a double entry. So only put your name. You want to put your email. And mine is kind of already here, so I can click and paste because I do this all the time. I love doing it all the time because I have multiple entries when we get to do it. You're gonna put your zip code. I'm gonna put my business zip code, but you can put your own, right? One of the things I'm going to teach you right now is when you're doing grants are very specific. So if it wanted business information, it would ask you. The reason I kind of like this grant is because you have liberty to put whatever you want, business or personal. And so if it wanted your business address, it would specifically ask for that. So just put your email, whichever email you're going to respond to is the most important email to put, right? Put your zip code. It's going to ask ethnicity. Mine is African American Black. The reason that it asks that is because every grant, guys, is going to do a statistics because they're here to serve certain people. You never know what the grant is for unless they tell you. They may say this is a grant for African American women. This is a grant for new women in business, 51% or more. This is for minority men. This is for Caucasian men. This is for Caucasian women. This is a tribal grant. It's going to tell you what the grant is for, right? So when you do the ethnicity, it just is a marker for them to know that they're hitting their target. Sometimes we feel like we're left out if we or will be X'd out, right? If we don't answer a proper question or if we answer the question and we reveal who we are. It's okay. And grants is mostly necessary. And if there's a red star, which means required, then we're going to have to fill that out if we want to get that grant. All right. So are you a male or female, or rather not say? What is your business status? I would like to start a business or I currently own a business. Answer your question. Mine is I currently own a business. And then the last question literally is who are you referred by? And you're going to say Inga Nykole. And I'm typing my name, INGANYKOLE. Get grants daily. That's all you got to say. Type what I typed. Inga Nykole, get grants daily. The reason that's important for them to know that I'm referring you is because guess what? We have a group, a community. We have Facebook. We have a grant vault that we have a like private access community. And the more that they know that I'm putting it out there, the more they're going to send us exclusive opportunities. So anytime I refer you to a grant and they ask you, make sure you say that Inga Nykole Get Grants Daily did refer you. The terms and conditions, you're just going to click the button and click submit. If you want to take a moment to read the terms and conditions or come back to this in your follow-up email, the link for this grant is going to be there. So you can either read it now or do it. I always read. I'm always going to read the terms and conditions because I don't want them to say that I've got $3,000, but I also got to give up my firstborn child or my Yorkie, right? So I don't want to give up my dog for a grant. So make sure you read your terms and conditions. But if you're ready, you're going to click on submit. It's going to go through, circle, circle, circle. Guys, when it rains where I am, for some reason, it literally is the slow internet. Last thing, only thing I ask is that you take a picture or a screenshot and that you tag me on social media. Let everybody know that you just applied for a grant. All right. So congratulations. We received your submission. And the email has more grants that you're going to apply to. There. So not only are you having this grant right now, but they're going to email you even more opportunities. And so I love that. I love that. I love that. All right. So, and now back to our regularly scheduled broadcast. Thank you, Virgil, for helping me today. All right. So, next slide, please, in my head, y'all. That's what I was saying. Let's see where we're at. I'm sharing again. I do believe you guys will be able to see me. Here we go. All right. So we applied for our grant. One of the most important things you could do when you are applying for a grant, every grant that you see is not as easy as that one. That grant's super easy, super simple. And guess what? People actually do get it. But you want to prepare your documents and always have your information ready. So when you're learning certain things about grants, how to apply, what to say, you're going to have a budget, you're going to have a story. You want to find a place to have all your documents that are already ready. This is the same for if you're in a business. I always teach people if you've got an EIN number, if you've got what is it? If you have a business license, if you have your articles of incorporation, all the things that you need, your operating agreement, you want to have these things all in one place and ready to go. I always say that you should have a file for it. If you're a part of our Grant Vault community, you have a space there for you to put all of your information inside of the community. But you want to create yourself a little PDF file, or if you're a paper person, because I'm still kind of like paper/computer, if you're still a paper person, have it already ready so you don't have to worry about having these things or getting these things in order. When you stay ready, because sometimes, lots of times, you're going to get a grant opportunity and it's going to be like the grant is over today at 6 o'clock. And now you got to hurry up and gather up your answers and gather up your documents when if you already got them ready, let's get to applying, okay? You want to research different grants to find your needs. And there's different places you can research. You can research on Google. You can research on AI. You can research literally on AI. You can say grants near me. Put your city, state, and county. There's something called Grant Watch. Hello Skip. Hello Alice. There's so many different places that you can find grants. Google where to find grants near me, and you will be able to find grants. One of the things that we're going to teach and something that we have called the 3-day grant challenge, we're going to show you how to unlock so many grants. You're not going to be able to apply fast enough. You're going to take some and share some. All right. And so researching different places to find grants is going to always keep you ready, and be prepared to make yourself a spreadsheet or handwrite it, however you want to do it. But you want to know your grant, what it's for, and the deadline of that grant, right? Having that spreadsheet and that chart is going to be so helpful to you. When you're applying for grants, you want to be able to share your authentic story, because you want to, it's almost like writing a book. I want you to know who I am by reading it on the paper. So if you ever read a good book, and if you read a good book before, just in the comments say just say me, that you read a good book. A good book, I'm talking about the book that captures you from the beginning. They say the door shut and the lights went black, right? And you're like, oh, tell me more, right? You want to read a good story. This is what grant writing is all about. It's all about sharing who you are, sharing that dream that you have, sharing the people that you want to help in a good story. Because most of the time, people are never going to get to see you until you win the grant, right? They're going to be able to read your story, maybe go on your website, check you out on social media, but they're reading that application and they're reading thousands upon thousands of compelling stories. And so you want your story to be the best story that they ever read. You want that story that you put in for them to never forget what you said, even while they're reading other applications. And working with us at Get Grants Daily, this is literally what you'll be able to learn about telling us that compelling story, that authentic story, and connecting it to the people that are reviewing the grants, right? Want to write the vision. Write the vision and make it plain. I'm a believer in that. I keep a black and white notebook. I got so many black and white notebooks. I say this not to impress anyone, but just to impress upon you how important writing things down are. The first time I ever knew that I made $1 million, I was using a black and white notebook. And it made me never stop writing in my black and white notebook. You don't need nothing fancy to do this. You literally could go on around the corner to the Dollar Tree, right? And if you can't go to Dollar Tree, we got some paper in the house, but you want to have it where you got something that you can write in the same thing. I try not to mix my notebooks up, right? I got a grant notebook. I've got a notebook for my bills, and I try to keep everything where it's supposed to be. But you want to write that vision and make it plain, because there's something about when you take that pen and connect it to the paper, it makes it more real. It opens up the universe for you. Depending on your faith, it opens up your faith to you. It is a reminder that you did it. But that pen and that book or pencil is super magical. And so writing it down and begin to create a clear project for what you want to do. You'll learn to outline your goals, and you'll learn to take that project and make an impact for the people. But writing it down, and guys, this is just not just for grants, but this is for any goal that you have in your life that you know you want to attain, when you write that goal down, when you make that promise, that writing it down is like making a promise to yourself that you're going to deliver this thing or this dream or whatever it is that you write down. It is going to happen. It is absolutely going to happen, especially when you write it and you're intentional about it. And so writing the vision is a trick that a lot of people don't know because we're using our phone. We got notes. We're voice recording and doing these things, but you got to write it out. You got to write it out, right? We want to identify grants. I told you that different ways. Hello, Alice. Hello, Skip, Google, Chat GPT, and all of these ways that you can find grants. But you can find a grant, but does your vision of what you want to do align with that grant, right? I will teach you ways for what the grant is asking for and your vision for what you want to do for your business or for your nonprofit to match the grant. Here's an example. Great example is a lot of times there's grants for mental health, but you might be someone that is doing Deirdre. Dr. Deirdre has something called the Girlfriends Gathering. Girlfriends Gathering, I haven't been, and it looks so fun and amazing. I want to go, but the Girlfriends Gathering is all about collaboration and talking and sharing and just the beautiful things that it's about. But she may have wanted to do a community grant for Girlfriends Gathering to have a women's event, right? But when you think of mental health, imagine all of the women that really don't have girlfriends. Imagine all of the women that haven't even been out the house or gotten dressed in a while. Imagine the women that are going to work and coming home and taking care of their children and the family and their pets and their parents, but they haven't had a moment for themselves to relate to another woman, to kiki and have a good time. This is actually mental health. And there is not a grant that is out there right now that any of our vision can't relate to. It's all about putting that story together for what the grant is. A lot of times we're going to look for grants and we're going to say, well, I want to get a grant and and I see the grant, but oh, that grant's not for me. But wait, how can that grant become for you is the question that we have. And so we have to identify grants that align with their mission or that our mission can create a path to align with.
Yeah,
It's
smell of the
very, very
sleep went
important.
on bad. I think
Right?
the
And make
sleep
sure
is
you mute
bad.
your phone, guys.
Smell the smoke.
And
Yeah, I think
uh,
so.
all right. So do you want to research, guys? When you're doing the grant applications, you got to read. I just said a few minutes ago, those terms and eligibility, you want to read. You want to read. You want to read. There's simple, small things, small steps that people miss. And just like that, you're out. They're going to go through the applications. When
What
they're reading through the grant applications, they're going to be reading through them to see the mistakes first. If you're a mistake, I got a pile of grants that's this high, that's this high. And if you can't see me, I got my hand stacked this high. And I'm going to look for the mistakes first because I got to read 500 grant applications, 40 grant applications, 3,000 grant applications. I want to get through okay, that's a mistake and that grant is canceled. We were in Georgia, one of our grant coordinators and this is before she became a grant coordinator. And we were going through a grant that's called the Edge Grant in Delaware. It's a $50,000 grant that I've seen so many people get. And when we were going through the grant, I never had seen the part that said, after you click submit on this grant, you must also notarize this letter or this form and send your grant package in the mail certified. I never saw that. And I have been helping people apply for that grant. I never saw that. So imagine the people, right? Nobody's perfect. Imagine the people that had applied for a grant and missed that one mark. And had it not been for her, we may still have sent in improper grants. But because she saw that, people are getting noticed now because we read all of the terms and conditions and all of the eligibility requirements. We already kind of talked about matching your goals with the grant objectives for success. Stay organized so that you're not overwhelmed. Keep everything in one place. I love this picture because we were able, again, I went to Ghana. This is the Cheerful Hearts Foundation. And these children, this is a nonprofit that we're working with out in Ghana to help them have better education and also to stop sex or stop sex trafficking in Ghana. And so this is a beautiful thing. We got to hang out not even hang out. We got to connect with the kids and participate in their lives only for a few short hours, but the impact that's going to be everlasting because of the grants and the foundations that are helping to make their dreams a reality of sex trafficking, child labor, and education. And so I'm very excited to share that picture with you. Let's see what's next. So, your journey, you want to share your journey and engage with your audience. We already talked about that, being engaging and sharing and talking and making sure that you're connecting with the people that you're talking to. People are reading your story, right? Emotions. People don't like to share emotions. I feel like, and if it's just me, if it's not just me, I want somebody to say me too. But connecting our emotions and experiences and sharing it out loud. People want to feel that. Whenever I help write grants, one of the things we're going to do, and you'll learn that in our 3-day challenge, is I help create your personal statement. Because when you can tell someone what you've been through, why you do what you do, why you love what you do, why you're passionate about what you're doing, it's so much more important than the money. People get to connect with you. One of the things that you're going to learn as you continue to work with us or get to know us more for Get Grants Daily is we're going to create a video for you, a 90-second Who Am I video. This is where you share your personal statement. This is where you smile and share from your heart. Shucks, you might even cry. I did an interview in Atlanta last week and they asked me a question about my legacy and I literally cried. Like, oh my gosh, I couldn't believe it. Like them tears that just catch you out of nowhere, right? But we're going to share who we are, what we do, how we feel, because this gives more impact to our grant. We're going to share pictures so that they can relate to us. Because as adults, we sometimes don't like to share those soft spots in our life. We become so hardened and so maybe overwhelmed in life. And everybody's not like that, right? But the majority of people will say that they're not getting personal with everybody. In these grant applications, I promise you, the best way to get to that grantor's heart to connect to them is to get a little bit personal. And that's something that I will teach you how to draw out in your applications. We're not boo-hooing. We just sharing these stories of resilience and these stories of who we are and how we become the champion that we are and why we're giving back in our grant packages. This is the stuff that makes your package so much different than everybody else, right? Being transparent, being honest, right? Telling the story. So sometimes I'm on social media, and on social media they have this. There's this little skit that they do, and I don't know if you've ever seen it, but it's a skit where a kid or a person is getting a scholarship, but they have to tell the gory things about their life, and so they'll sit their parent down. And they'll be like, well, I'm applying for this $5,000 because, see, my mom, we were on hard times. And the mama or the parent will be sitting there like, what? They'll go along with me, mom, and they'll be going along with this super sad story that's not true. And finally, the parent will be like, "Oh, that's not true, right? Because they told this crazy, super untrue story." Tell the truth. A little bit of humor just to say, tell the truth. We want to be honest. You don't want nobody to fact check you. You don't want to get to the point that you've got this grant and they just want to get a couple of references and they call your reference and remind them of the pity story that you told or this sad story that you told or overcoming story and it wasn't true. You don't want to get to the finish line and your grant application can't get accepted all because you didn't tell the truth. So we're going to always be honest and tell the truth, all right? We're going to use clear language. Listen, you learn from us how to use AI to do your presentation. But when you're doing the presentation in AI, you want to use your own words. We teach you how to talk to your chat GPT. My chat GPT's name is Roxy. And she said, you want me to do this Roxy's way or Inga's way? I want you to do it Inga's way with a Roxy twist. We're together. And so use clear language. You want to make sure that it's clear. A narrative is just your story, and you're the narrator, and you're sharing and telling exactly what it is you need the money for. And so when we use Chat GPT, if you have used it, if you haven't, you're about to learn. But if you do use it, you gotta talk about, I want you to be persuasive. I want you to use plain English. I want to be able to relate to the person that I'm talking to. You gotta train your chat to talk the way you want your chat to talk. Then you gotta read what your chat wrote, because if we don't read it, I promise you, you will be surprised at some of the things that this computer slash amazing technology comes up with. So I don't want to be embellished and tell stories. I want it to be who I am and continue to relate and connect to the purpose that I'm trying to help other people with. All right. And so it's very important using clear, plain English, not these eloquent words that sometimes on my chat, I'm like, what in the, I need to use the chat to give me the definition of the word that the chat used. Our own language. Our own language is good enough. Is so good enough. I promise you. All right. Next slide, please. There you go. All right, here we go. So you got to believe in your vision. Come on now. We can't write anything that we don't believe in. You got to believe it. This is not a money grab. This is not just for money, but this is because we really want to impact people. We want to help people. In our business, we're here for a reason. We're here to make money, of course, but we also want to help people. Service to many leads to greatness. Initially, in anything, we're trying to make money because you've got to. There's a certain level of the hierarchy chart, right? Y'all remember that chart in school? Because I went like this. There's like self actualization and your needs, your basic, and all this nonsense. If you're a psychologist on here, you know what I'm talking about. But we do want to make sure that we're taking care of ourselves. But at some point in life, depending on where you are, it becomes more about helping people, because the more you give others what they want or what they need, you're going to get that back, right? And so you got to believe what you're selling. You have to believe what you're offering, whether it's a grant or whether it's in business. You got to believe these words. You got to believe that the story's going to translate better when your belief and your conviction is a part of it. Yep. You want to, again, we already talked about being prepared by gathering the documents, but again, prepare those documents. As you're getting your grant packages together, getting your story together, you're going to prepare them. Writing a grant is so a lot of times, guys, you're going to see grants that are very simple. They're asking questions that are easy grants. There's a difference between a grant that's just collecting data to sell you more and a grant that is really getting the information to give you the money. And in working with us, you're going to be able to see the differences between, like, oh, they're giving out money so that they can get my information to sell me a loan or to sell me a grant or to collect the money or to sell me a book or their services. But are they really giving out a grant that's going to transcend over time, right? And so there's a difference, and you'll learn that in our 3-day. There's grants that will come from businesses. That's going to be a one hitter quitter. You might get it once, they're going to move on to others. But when we're impacting and getting grants from foundations in our area where we're located, when we're getting grants because we're a nonprofit, when we're getting contracts, right? Because sometimes that's part of grants, sponsorship, when we're getting these things are going to be able to allow you to get it over and over and over and over. See, because when Paulette out in New York does a great job because she got a sponsor or a grant from a foundation that helps her mission, she's going to be able to show those pictures, have those, have that foundation come on out and participate in the good feeling that they did in the community. And then she'll be able to go back next year and get some more money because they believe in her, they trust her. And one thing we got to know is that somebody's grandmother done left some money for you to build up this hospital, or for you to continue to help Clarksburg County or wherever you're from, for you to continue to help Mississippi or the state of Georgia or Pennsylvania or Virginia, New York, Texas, wherever we are. Somebody left money for you to continue to do good things because that was their heart's desire. All right. We already talked about researching the grant. So we already talked about being authentic and the narrative. And then the grant proposal workbook is something that you'll get as part of our 3-day challenge. Let me tell you about some ratings. I'm excited. I'm going to share like the most recent ratings from our last 3-day challenge. This is me because I'm so absolutely grateful. But you got to love a good rating. They always tell us that facts tell, but stories sell. But people want to know, like, what have you done? Where's the money at? Who have you been helping? And so I'm just going to share from our recent class because this is what I really want to introduce you to. This is what today is all about. It's about us taking the steps further to be able to really teach you how to get this money. One thing that I love is that once you learn something, it can never ever be taken away from you. Never, ever, ever will it be taken from you. And so now that these ladies have had the skills, and I know Miss Barbara is here today, Miss Barbara told us that her takeaway from last night was so amazing to be able to allow ChatGPT to put the mission into words that made a lot of sense. I appreciate Inga for being such a blessing and helping us move to our next. I'm excited, super excited, because this is what I needed for some years to get my next, for some years to my next. Let me read it again. For some years to get to my next in life, next step, I do believe. And Miss Barbara is here. And so as at the end, in a couple seconds, when we do our slides, our Q&A, I'll have her just share a couple words if you want to, Miss Barbara. But I appreciate her saying that because Chat GPT, putting that mission into her own words, was a real thing. And it's something that she learned. Guys, when I tell y'all, we talked about our personal statement, our impact statement. We did something called the budget narrative, line item for the budget. This is all a part of grants. Excuse me. But it's free money, y'all. If it took only 3 days to get access to 10, 20, 30, $40,000, $1,000, $500, guys, it's 3 days to get to the money. But when we put in our own words and let chat do the thing based on the way that we talk, the way that we shared. All of us in this class was like, wow, we were literally like almost in tears that, yes, that is exactly what I'm saying. And so we were so excited to be able to use the chat GPT to do that. Here's what Kelly said. Kelly does gardening. Kelly helps women that have need to overcome whatever trauma is in their life through learning the simple steps of gardening. Gardening to freedom is basically what she does. But again, she said the same thing, that her takeaway was to get familiar with the chat GPT because it showed out with summarizing her projects, her purpose, and overall goal while capturing the feelings that she wanted the people to experience. That was incredible. Like that, I feel like it was the highlight of what we're doing. And the coolest thing also about the chat is this: we just were talking about grants. Imagine if you used it for other things in your life, right? I literally wrote an ebook that I never put out, was Chat GPT books for Chat GPT prompts for grants. And it just came back to me like, I don't even know why I didn't put it out. But if you decide that you're going to do our 3-day, you're going to get that book because I'm going to slide it right in here for y'all. Last one, last one. Lisa Stringer Bailey out in Georgia. She said, be ready for all great opportunities by having documents in one safe space, a folder on your computer. So when you see a grant and only hours to apply, you have everything all in one place. Stay ready so you don't have to get ready. Did we not say that? Thank you, Lisa, for that testimony. And so, guys, I love this. I love it, love it, love it. So here's what I want. Here's what I'm going to introduce you to today. Guys, I would love for you guys to take a 3-day grant challenge with me. It is an AI powered grant 3-day challenge. You're going to get access to our community during that time. Our community is called the Grant Vault. You're going to love that. You're going to get expert guidance, which is me, for 3 whole days. Look at the few things we learned today in just maybe about 40 minutes and what you could possibly learn in 3 days, right? You're going to have community support because you'll be a part of our Facebook group and other people will be cheering you on. Normally, this is actually $197, but today, guys, it's only $27. 27 bucks to hang out with me for 3 days to learn the impact of the grant. I'm going to drop the link in our Q&A in just a few minutes, but you can be a part of this challenge. It's so much more, guys, and I know some of us may have to slide out before the link is. So if you do, I'm going to follow up in your email with this link for only $27. You're going to learn how to do a proposal. You're going to learn how to do your grant narrative. We're going to write your grant, your personal statement. You will not leave without a fully written mini grant proposal and enough information in your proposal to ask for $25,000. That's what you're going to learn in those 3 days. It's not going to be my words. All of these 3 days is all about you, about what you want to say, how you want to say it, what is your mission. You're literally going to define with you step by step exactly how to put it together. So your next event will be sponsored or a grant just for you. All right. The next thing I want to share with you is that if you like that $27, right, then you can upgrade. Of course, we have an upgrade. The VIP during the 3-day grant challenge, we're going to help you do 2 applications filled out for your grants, 2 complete grant submissions you'll be able to get for the upgrade. Of course, we're going to have a breakout Q&A sessions every single day. You'll stay after for us to answer your questions, to tweak some more things, and to help you through the process. We're going to do the bonus business funding resource bundle because it's important to us. We're not just nonprofit owners. We're not just business owners, but we're not just nonprofit and business owners, but we are building a business, right? And so I want to make sure, because this is part of what Maximus Financial Group does, our parent company, we help secure business funding. So we're going to make sure that you are prepared for business funding in the business in the $97 upgrade, guys, the VIP upgrade. Again, this also is only available for 72 hours, 2 days, or 3 days. Only available for 72 hours. After that, this price is going to go up to $297, and the regular price for the other will go up to $197. You're going to get 7 days instead of 3 days access to our grant vault. In the grant vault, you'll have a portal. You'll be able to access it. You'll be able to see other grants because you're getting prepared. You'll be able to see the other grants that are available that you don't have to wait for me. You can go ahead and apply then too, right? And then the VIP recordings, you'll get the recordings for every single class after, and it'll be sent to you the next day, all right? And so we always say VIPs win a little bit faster because there's just more information and a little bit more private attention. So I know you hate to see me go. But as we wrap up, I just want to thank you for being with me through this presentation. I really did take out my time to give you as much impactful information as I could, especially since it is pre-recorded. But I believe that if you really paid attention, you got a lot out of it and you have enough to at least get started. But if you want to take your grant game to the next level, that debt-free funding to grow your business or your nonprofit, take advantage of the special, $27. Go to grants27.maximusfg.com. You're going to meet so many people and you're going to learn some powerful tools. And I promise, don't nobody do it like we do at Get Grants Daily. If you do have questions, because it is pre-recorded, I want you to send me a message. Go to support@maximusfg.com and just put 5-step question in the subject so I know it's you. Again, thank you so much for your time, for your energy, for your commitment to your own growth. And I absolutely look forward to seeing the incredible things that you're going to do from here. Take care.